Unit 2, Information Security, Governance and Risk Management, Part 2, Policies, a very short section explaining how policies work, how to manage, what are the basic tools of management. Well, policies define the role security plays in the organization, apply to the organization overall, or to specific function systems or issues. They define basic accountability for security functions. Standards can be mandatory actions, activities, or rules according to the books, or may be the level of quality expected as an outcome from a process, procedure, or project. Baselines is a state of at a point in time used for comparison. Remember, we talked about metrics in one of the other slideshows here. A baseline is essential for metrics. You have a point at which you baseline things, and then later on you compare and see if you've done better or done worse. Guidelines, recommended actions and operational guides. While standards are mandatory, guidelines are optional but recommended. Procedures for operational type tasks are step-by-step tasks required to achieve a goal or objective. And then finally, there's implementation. Ensure that all of the above are followed, because all of the above make up a management system. At the top are policies. Policies include standards and baselines and guidelines, and in procedures for actually achieving the criteria set out by policies. Now, what are some of the policy types in terms of the information security world? There's the organizational security policy, defines the role security plays in the organization, specifies the laws and regulations for which compliance is required, and defines the scope and direction of the security program. All other security policies should support this organizational policy. It's the keystone or the center of the security practices of an organization. It establishes at a very high level who is ultimately accountable for information security in the organization. Then you can have issue-specific policies, policies for specific issues. These typically communicate specific requirements to employees. The organizational policy may be a bit vague, kind of pie in the sky, generic, but an issue-specific policy says, when you have A, you must do B. For example, an appropriate email use policy. Here is what you are allowed to do with the organization's email system. Here is what you can't do. That's an issue policy. You want to keep those out of the organizational policy because issue-specific policies can change very frequently. You'll have new ones coming up as new technology, new processes, new systems come into play, whereas you want the organizational policy to be a stable center for everything else. And then lastly, you have what may be system-specific policies, policies that apply to specific types of technology. To laptops, to desktops. You may have a policy regarding hardening of Windows servers, for example, that is different from the policy for hardening Linux servers. And that's it.